Alright, this is my terrarium. This is where it's going to sit for a while I get the others ready. Compliments of two friends of mine. But right now this is where this terrarium is going to sit. We've got two acurites in place now, one in either corner. I've got a third one on order. I've got the old thermometers in place, and I'm able to check the temperature on the top of the aquarium as well, so I can make sure that it doesn't get too hot on top. We've got the two hides. That's what they call the burrows for the snakes. I just call them the burrows because that's where ball pythons seem to hide. They hide in other animals' burrows. So what I've done, what you see right there, that's actually kind of unhidden. What I usually do when I freshen everything up, I bury the rock hideouts. I bury them underneath all the substrate so that you really can't see them. The one that's exposed right now, I've got to buy more fake plants to hide it, so eventually you won't be able to see it very well at all. So right now that one's exposed on the right side there. The one on the left is covered by leaves. There's a resin branch there, and there's crawl space underneath there, and there's a fake plant against the wall as well, which gives it some crawl space back there if you could see it. So Harry gets to crawl on top, and on the bottom they're sturdy enough that he can crawl on them without falling off, without the whole thing falling on top of him. And then on the back of that, on the back of the aquarium left corner, there is another resin rock back there that is also buried right underneath the substrate, and that's where Harry likes to hide. So right now the humidity in there is at 71 in one corner, 61 on the other, and the temperature is about 81 in one corner and 79 in the other. Harry's corner is at 81 and the right corner is at 79. So eventually I'm going to get a nice big thermostat that's going to take care of that for me. But what you see, that big lamp, that hood right there, that's actually a ceramic heat emitter. It does not emit, it doesn't emit any light. It just is a heater, and I have it in the middle so it like disperses heat throughout the entire enclosure. And I have it where it is because that is where it usually keeps the temperature at 80 degrees on average, which is why you have 79 on one corner, 81 over here. But on average it's about 80 degrees both sides, which is where you want it at nighttime. During the day I supplement with a little bit of light to make sure that it goes up to the 90 degrees on the one side like it's supposed to, at least for now. And I'll probably add another CHE, or I'll just add a bigger CHE with a dimmer to it to try to heat up the entire enclosure. But I'm still kind of debating between a dimmer or a thermostat. Depends on what I'm going to do with the other two terrariums, because I'm looking into a biosubstrate. I've got to do the research on that because apparently you can do vivariums with biosubstrates and different plants. So I've got to do the research to see if I can do that for my ball python. Because if I can do that, then we're talking a lifespan of about 10 years per biosubstrate enclosure, which would be really cool because then Harry would get a more natural habitat instead of this fake stuff. His substrate right now is a composition of 70-30 repti bark versus repti bark and cypress mulch, which seems to have given me the best moisture, the best humidity percentage, which is really important for his health and for his ability to shed. So we'll see how that works. I also do not take him out of his enclosure to feed. They at the beginning I was told that we should remove him to his own little I should remove him to a separate enclosure to feed him separate because of something called aggression, whatever. But apparently that does not seem to be the case. He does fine in his enclosure. He eats his mouse and he looks like a sock puppet. And he's clumsy at it, but it's funny. And he eats. He goes about his business. 2 days later, he comes back out and we pet him, we pick him up, and we drive on. So anyway, that's about it. The 50 gallons and the 40-gallon tanks that we have, we're going to be looking at the biosubstrates, and I might get one of my sons to help me with that. I don't know yet, but I think that would be really cool. Maybe build a false bottom and create a canopy in the background maybe, but we'll see how that works out. I probably will record it along with the setup for the tank. This right now looks like, oh God, it looks awful because I've got the tanks and everything is in flux right now. So it looks kind of like a homeless person shelter or something, I don't know. But my 10-gallon tank is sitting right there. I'm planning on moving this whole area, redoing it, because the vivarium will eventually sit on this corner here. The tank is probably going to sit where the small terrarium is, and the printer is going to be out of the way completely. But for now, this is it while I redecorate, I guess. I've never really been interested in decorating the house. That's usually my husband's province, but since I have to make space for my tanks, then, well, yeah, now it becomes interesting. But that's only because I have a goal in mind, I guess. But right here, let me see if maybe you can see it. If you see this right there, I don't even know if you could see it or not, but right there, that place is all built up because that's all the substrate on top of his little hiding area. And let me see. I don't know if he's out still or if he went back in. No, he went back in, so yeah, he went back in, so you won't be able to see him, but I think it's a really neat little setup. So that's about it.